Alright, time to end the Jumi story arc, and we did essentially all the main story arcs in the game.
All right.
It's actually gonna be the last part before the finale.
Wow.
Yay.
Almost at the end.
It's been a relatively long journey, but
Long road.
It's been a long afloat, and I'm finally here.
obviously
Yeah.
I'll say the final thoughts when we will actually happen. But let me just say that so far I'm actually pleased with the results that I got from all of you, mostly.
As in our reactions?
Yes.
Neato.
For me, it's a
Again,
bit
Jova,
sad because
Again, Jova, the focus on this was just to letting you know the product. Obviously, the opinion that you formulated was yours and yours alone.
Honestly, I'm still glad we're seeing this because there are quite a lot of things I still do like about this game.
Save it for the final thoughts, because now apparently,
you!
Elazul and Pearl have disappeared.
Oh my god, I
for now.
forgot. This guy's a part of the Jumi arc. Haven't seen him in a
Yeah,
while.
and this is the last you see of him.
if I remember correctly, I'm the one voicing this guy, aren't I?
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's Discount Inspector.
That's
Shell.
right. I have a favor to ask you. Well, not so much, too. This guy's more like Gruff, the detective, rather than the innocent, dopey detective.
But apparently he's telling us that there's a suspicious shop on Geo.
They used to sell Jumi cores, a truly despicable business. I want you to find it.
Poaching.
It's not like
sure.
it's not like I'm a detective or something.
I guess
So
he's coming
yeah,
with us.
supposedly, Jova, supposedly on Geo there was a shop that apparently was closed down for a lot of time
Wait.
and was supposed to be selling Jumi cores.
Could it be Alex?
I wonder.
Then
I
again, we
wonder
did have a
indeed.
quest called Alexandrite. What if Alex is secretly one of the Jumi?
Anyway, time to bust up the door. I guess I use the Phoenix Wright style of opening doors.
Of course.
That's the spirit.
Riding free.
No, please.
Shut the fuck up. Come on, just give it a try.
All right, and
Whoa! It's open. All right, time to investigate.
I guess I just did something. Just pretend that I opened the door.
Of course.
Yes.
I'm sorry, we couldn't actually show the door being.
Apparently there's a barrier or some
Well, crud, that's
What's
straight
this?
out of Kingdom Hearts, I recall.
barrier.
shit. Well, the show seemed to be the same, but if you
Something
remember,
seems
Here,
different.
remember, here is where Florina is also kept hidden because supposedly Alex wants to keep her safe from the Jumi and
I
thief.
don't know. Something about this room seems a bit darker than last time.
Why does the picture? I know the picture's supposed to be a globe, but the way it's structured, it looks like Mr. Happy from Mr. Men.
It was a bit more of a Fabergé
Oh,
egg.
Pearl.
Anyway, Pearl.
So,
Yeah, it's Shira.
It's been so long.
A bit.
A bit,
one
yeah.
part.
Yeah, not that long.
What happened?
A lot. We've been doing some investigating.
Of course.
Oh shit.
Okay. This place looks abandoned to others.
So apparently the shop is visible and no one knows who Alex is.
So what? Is it non-visible to non-mages?
A non-Jumi, apparently. People related to
Muggles.
Jumis.
No,
Yeah.
Dwibs, you know the term. It's non-mage over here.
I know it is over there, but to me it's Muggle.
Non-mag is such a stupid term. I'm sorry. Something
Yeah.
strange. I feel it in my core.
It's like J.K. Rowling just wrote non-magic, no magic, and just got rid of the ick parts.
Was that
Americans
maybe?
like butchering the English language. How can I add to this?
It's weird though. Mystic Beast, isn't that based off of like a guidebook she made?
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, I
Oh,
actually
God.
had it back then, the original guidebook.
So
It's
where
actually
does-
pretty fun.
So where did the
It's
story come from?
Fantastic Beasts.
The story is original.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
neat.
original. Essentially, they wanted to use it to expand the lore, finally.
So it's a J.K. Rowling that came up with, the American rules for wizards?
Probably,
Yeah.
because didn't she have a hand in the script for that?
Yeah, she was like
She
a
wrote,
consultant.
she wrote the script.
What I don't get is why
Really?
she made it that American wizards apparently cannot marry with non-mages. Well, even the characters point out how dumb that
Anyway,
is.
hold on. There we go.
Anyway.
We're back in Florina's resting place.
Hey!
Oh,
Now the room looks better. Oh, right, Florina's resting place. Pearl. What is it?
Don't flash me!
Oh, hey, Florina.
Forgot who was voicing
Pedro.
Pedro, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you the
never mind.
Clarius? The pillar of life that supports us all? A frail, sick girl just standing in there like a clam in a shell?
Yes, I am Florina, Clarius of the Jumi.
What?
Hey, don't
Florina.
laugh at me. I didn't write this.
Just call it leader or something. What's it these stupid
Pearl,
made
let
up
me
words?
be. I don't want a part of your core.
It's Square Enix Twibs.
Turn off that white heart of yours.
Turn
Also,
off
Dweebs,
that light!
Right,
Also, Dweebs,
What? What are you doing to Pearl?
Also, Dweebs, it's
What?
gemstone terminology.
I guess. Okay. There's something I want to ask her. Don't worry. I can't. Whatever. I can only give, only heal.
What does she mean by restoring her to her original
Wow,
state?
you're the most useless healer ever.
Jova,
Oh,
we're
no.
about to actually find out.
Yeah,
You're even
I
more
def-
useless than a white mage. You can
I
literally
definitely-
only heal.
Remember, Jova,
I definitely trust her.
apparently, remember, Black Pearl and Pearl are the same person.
What are the mana sword? The key to opening the mana stone.
And yet they can
Mana
split into
series.
two separate beings at times.
We are in the mana series after all. Is that what you gave Elazul?
There you go, the mana sword, supposedly.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, this is from an ancient tribe of nomads, yes.
So that's like the big plot MacGuffin of this entire game, I'm
Right.
guessing.
Remember, back when this game was actually made, supposedly this was in continuity, and only later on they discounted it. So back when they wanted some connections of some kind.
They are a race that can see the past.
Anyway, no worries.
Is that gonna be an equip, I wonder?
Yes, let's just say that yes.
There's something I must ask you. Black Pearl?
I want to ask you something too. Would you
Okay,
mind having your
one at a
namesake be
time.
used for this awesome ship?
Stop. You are in the presence of a guardian.
You're a
Shut
knight.
up, no one
I'm
cares.
sorry.
Ding, 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 ding,
Duncan
ding.
MacLeod, you have squandered your precious gift.
Precious gift.
Say it, Elazul. Perhaps I have the same question.
I always wondered. When I found you out in the desert, you were Black Pearl with a black core. Then, as I held you in my arms, you acquired a white core.
Oh, but Elazul, don't you know? It don't matter if you're black or white.
Whether in Larry's or Mecha, your form changes between black and white.
The Pokemon games?
You are
Actually,
Black
Michael Jackson
Pearl.
reference.
And how was Pearl born? Who are you? I'm asking this to the person I've spent most of my life with.
Black Pearl, answer.
The Clarius demands it.
No.
Yes.
Oh, fuck you then. Tell me, I am ready.
Are you sure? Alright.
Now nobody
Time
kill
for
her!
Backstory.
The Beta
Alright,
Killer Hearts music
someone
compels you.
replace Shiroi for this one because it's all red text and there's no real
Okay.
indication of a dialogue. So this is a dialogue that Sandra and Black Pearl are having.
What do you
What do
think? Oh, sorry,
No,
which
no,
one's
no,
Sandra?
no, go ahead, you do it.
Your Sandra, let's just Jova, might as well you replace also Shiroi in this case in order to avoid confusion.
I know, I'm just trying to figure out who is who because it's all red text.
Well,
Yeah,
all
it's a
right.
bit-
I'll just sum it up what's going on essentially. Sandra is taking away Florina because of a war that's happening and the Jumi extermination due to the hunting. Black Pearl is strongly against this because of her own nature, being relatively destructive and warmongering, being having a black core. So Sandra essentially is we're having a conflict essentially based on it. Sandra is on a sort of a progressive side in a sense, but she thinks that some sacrifice must be made in order for Jumi to be reborn. But the key thing to do is having Florina to survive, then letting her die and having the entire race be reborn.
Wait,
Black Pearl is strongly against it.
I thought
essentially.
Sandra was all about killing the Jumi. Why is she now trying to...
Well, she talked about regeneration and stuff. And,
So-
also sacrifices.
So this is all some weird contraption of a plan to have them all supposedly be reborn by killing them.
Of
Sword,
course.
if you play Dissidia, it's similar to the concept of being reborn after one of the cycles.
Okay, I get that, but
For
I'm
this
just
particular
wondering-
scene, they should have had each character have a different color for their text.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's not really
Yeah,
anything
the
differentiating
silhouette
one
is
from the
fine, The
other.
problem is the dialogue prompt.
Not only that, but I'm confused. I mean, it's weird. It's like, well, you'd think that the story would have eased a bit slowly into suggesting that Sandra's, having these other motives outside just killing them, but no, it's like starting with the last part, we immediately go to it as if, oh, by the way, I've been working with Black Pearl, only no, but now I may actually be trying to help the Jumi. It's like, we immediately are pushed into this new narrative idea that Sandra has a weird sense of justice here, when, may I remind
It's
you,
not,
when we...
it's not exactly a sense of justice. If you remember the backstory...
Well, I know, revenge too, but my point is this,
Not also that. Remember, Sandra technically is the knight of Florina.
Wait,
So-
so wait. Oh, so Sandra is a Jumi? Oh, wait, never mind. You don't have to be a Jumi to be a knight. I guess.
Not just that. Jova, at this point, it's pretty clear, come on, the true identity. So, do a favor to everyone else and connect the dots.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused, I'll admit.
Okay, what was called the stone about Florina's guardian? Sorry, Florina's knight.
Oh, Florina's knight, I think
You just mentioned it at the beginning of this part. It was literally one of the name of the quest.
Alexandrite.
Yes.
So
Now,
Alex was...
So what are the names that keep popping up in this quest, aside of the ones that we know the most?
Well, of course, let's see, Diana, Florina, Alexandrite. So that would mean Alex is definitely tied into this.
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with Sandra, though?
Well, what are Alex and Sandra but part of the same name?
Alexandra? Oh god. They're a fusion!
Not necessarily, more like Alex is a disguise that Sandra is having.
So, why didn't...
Not just that cross-dressing disguise, but essentially Sandra has been posing as Alex to, study the Jumis and finding where they were. Remember,
She must have-
Alex was present when Rubens was attacked, if you remember.
That
in
is
Gato.
actually an interesting twist, though either Sandra has some pretty dang good hair dye or she has a pretty good wig. And something
It's-
to,
well, use Layton's logic with Don Paolo.
Well, yeah, I don't think even Don Paulo was ever able to fake breasts or the removal of breasts.
Actually, he could. Java. When he disguised himself as Flora.
Flora doesn't have those.
There you
Well,
go,
they're
Teardrop
tiny. They're
crystal.
tiny, but they're technically still there.
Also, what you want another comparison? Descole, disguising.
Whatever. It's
Okay,
whatever.
okay,
Cartoon
okay.
logic.
Fair
Just
point,
roll
fair
with it.
point.
Anyway,
Okay,
for
fair
this
point about
content,
Descole.
all right, let me sum up the scene. Essentially, Black Pearl and Sandra had this huge debate about what to do. They clearly did not agree with each other. Sandra essentially stabbed Black Pearl, blindsiding her, and this caused essentially a trigger reaction where essentially Black Pearl forged the identity of Pearl as a disguise for her to walk around and see what the true intention, the moves and the intention of a Jumi hunter were. The problem is, by transferring into Pearl, she lost part of her memories, which then got slowly back as the game went on.
So you're telling me that this was all
Anyway,
just...
hold on. Yeah, let's go again. Go ahead, Pedro.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Essentially, Pearl was born, blah, blah, blah.
Damaged. You decide to shoulder my pain. As Pearl.
So essentially, the identity of Pearl was just that, an identity. Black Pearl is
Dun,
the real
dun,
deal.
dun. I have decided.
I'm going to destroy everything?
Please, Black Pearl, stop Alexandra, the one who betrayed the race.
So I was
Betrayal,
right, Sandra
betrayal,
is actually
betrayal.
Jumi.
But you mean betrayed? It's betrayed too, not
Sorry.
betrayal.
Not stop her.
You're thinking of
Florina.
Spoonie.
Defeat her.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, unless
No,
you...
not really.
It is.
Now our enemy.
Oh,
No.
only now she's our enemy.
Stopping someone is very different from murdering them.
But to stop them, we have to defeat them. That's it. It's the
Maybe
same thing.
again. Maybe she's operating on Sherman logic.
Oh, that's the thing. Florina still
Halting and
doesn't want.
eliminating are different things.
That's the thing. Florina still doesn't want the proper, hurting.
Black Pearl, please. You were my knight. Hello.
Yeah, by the way, Black Pearl was
So
Florina's
you
knight
just
before.
left your guardian to go as a
I am
disguise?
something to ask of you too, Elazul. No matter what happens, you must not interfere, which kind of makes you pointless to be here.
Actually,
Just-
What are
No.
you saying? I am a knight. You're
yeah,
a
what he
knight.
said.
You're a knight
What's a
to a
paladin?
guardian who was never really real when you think about it.
The Jumi will surely die if Black Pearl loses this battle, but you don't think by the old rules. You have never killed.
So here's
You're
my
Batman.
question.
So basically, again, a talking cat logic. It's the rules.
I have whatever. A question if
Don't
I
worry,
may.
Joe. We will have time to talk about doing.
Don't
this
tell me
mission.
what to do. Like poor Elazul. I mean, seriously, here this guy is. He just wants to do his job as
Joe,
a
but just
knight.
wait until we get to the end of his quest.
He's gonna die, isn't he?
No, but it's gonna be funny nonetheless.
It's
Okay.
time. Here, take this.
What?
The last artifact we were
Jumi's
gonna get, the
staff.
Jumi stuff.
And she dies. And
yeah.
we'll all die. Everyone. Stop.
Jesus Christ, game, lighten up!
Bye.
Da, 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 da.
What even killed her?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What is with everyone? Underestimate me, will you? Pearl is my guardian.
At this point, Elazul is a bit delusional.
I see then.
A new beginning.
Like I said it before, I'll say it again. Poor Elazul.
And I'm just tangled in the midst of all of this.
And
And I'm
you-
reading
wait,
Jumi.
A new beginning. Did this predict the Legend of Spyro games?
I
Maybe.
leave it all to you. Everything that is mine and Pearl's.
Oh, come on.
Wait a minute. What year did this come out?
2000.
Oh, okay. So it's too late for a series of unfortunate events then.
Yeah. But actually, the series of unfortunate events started in 1999.
So, are you
Hold on,
alright,
hold on.
Pearl?
Probably.
I just remembered, Elazul. You gave me my name.
Which was conveniently Pearl, not too different from my real name.
I was searching for one so long. Don't worry. Black Pearl and I are one of the same. You are my knight.
So basically, you're like Launch. When you're moody, you get all black and surly.
Yeah, pretty much. Think of better analogy. But thankfully, unlike in Dragon Ball Z, she will not be forgotten.
So she has violent mood swings.
Great. This is great. Pearl, I don't want you to go. What?
I can fight. Black Pearl's powers will be needed too.
Let's go to Florina together. Wow, you gave it
Unfortunately,
easily.
Unfortunately, I can take only one of them.
No, not by
Why?
ourselves. I sense too much danger.
Oh. I won't let you go, even if I have to shut you in Pandora's box.
That's the thing.
Because
that's
that kept
what-
Florina so safe, now didn't it? But that's
Yeah,
just the way I
basically.
feel, I guess.
So you have a choice now. If you pick Elazul, depending on who you pick, this will affect essentially how the gameplay will be in this final dungeon. But I will explain more into later. For now, let's just focus on the choice.
Does
here.
it also
Right.
affect the ending of this quest?
Partially, but no. Essentially, it changes something that happens in the ending, but overall, the end result is still the same.
So it's not like, say, the fairy arc where it decides who will live and who will die.
No, thankfully, no. Essentially, yeah, let me just say this, might as well. If you pick Elazul, he will have the mana sword with him, and essentially will be more powerful in all fights that you will have. If you pick Pearl, he will have to deal with just Pearl in normal battle, but this final dungeon will be chock full of bosses, and she will transform into Lady Blackpearl in all the boss fights, making them essentially a cakewalk.
So
it's
pretty
kind of
much choose
it's
which...
kind of yeah, choose your gameplay style. If you just want a consistent ally battle, or someone with just really good for boss fight.
Does the Mana Sword make Elazul pretty OP?
No, but it makes him reliable nonetheless. So the Mana Sword is just like it makes him a bit more powerful, but not by much. And essentially I got Pearl anyway because the effect
She's
of the
been
Black Pearl
doing
in
the-
battle is still broken anyway. And since it's the final quest for the Jumi story arc, it's bound to have a final boss, so you kinda need all the help it needs.
Not to mention, isn't this whole quest and stuff been saying it's prophesized that Black Pearl has to be the one there or something anyway,
Pretty
story-wise?
much. So story-wise, it makes more sense for her to be here.
Ironic, ain't it? I mean, again, though. So basically, Black Pearl's her real identity, yet that's the identity that has an energy meter that runs out.
What do you mean?
What it is, like, apparently, when she's Black Pearl, that's the form that drains her energy, even though that's her original form, to the point where she has to turn back into regular Pearl.
No. It's just a self-defense mechanism in a psychological way. Anyway, let me give a second, because by placing the Jumi stuff, we create my favorite place in the entire game.
Oh.
And something that became extremely popular. It's one of the popular things about one of the most popular things about this game.
Hollow Bastion mixed with Atlantica?
The Bejeweled City.
heck?
City.
Bejeweled City.
Yes.
Oh!
It's a
This
city
is-
into Bejeweled.
This is the core of Homeworld, don't you know?
I want you to take a second. If
won't
you
be
have
surprised.
been, hold on. If you're a fan of Shimomura, you will probably have heard of this music coming up,
Yeah.
because this is one of the most iconic pieces in the entire game. Go ahead, Shiri.
The Bejeweled City. In the old language, it's
Hey.
called Etanzel.
Yeah, it's Enzo.
Yep.
Essentially, now you will have. I decided to not speed it up for the sake of the music, and also to collect the thoughts.
Yes.
But let me just start with this. I mean, I'm saying how the dungeon works. Essentially, you have to collect the gemstone from each of these rooms by defeating the enemies inside or doing a mini puzzle in it. Then you need to place the stones in the correct order on one of the altars, and essentially this will unlock the gate, the stairs to the next level. Get to the top of the city, and you're done, essentially. Now, sometimes you will have to fight one of the jeweled beasts here and there, but it's not a big a deal, especially because in this case you have Black Pearl in order to help you with. So let me try to recap what's going on in case you need a more consistent narrative. The Jumis are a race of people with crystal cores. Depending on who they are, they have a different core, like the emerald, all that jazz. They're supposed to be a healing race, since the mana energy of the world flows within them with great power and stuff. But due to their very nature, they're hunted by humans and other species that see them as just, cheap jewelry to hunt and sell for profit. This, in turn, makes them more reclusive and more spiteful towards other species, which in turn makes other species racist in a never-ending cycle. At the same time, they're going extinct because of their very own, of this very tragedy cycle that's happening. In the midst of all this, the leader of the Jumi, the current leader of the claustrum, Florina, thinks that the best course of action for now is to shut down the healing tier mechanism that the Jumi have, and only use it when it will be extremely necessary, first to revitalize Jumi, unless someone else who is not a Jumi will cry for them. If they manage to find someone with enough empathy and sorrowful, that the race has been passing, they will be reborn anew. The Knight of Florina, Alexandrite, doesn't believe this, and she thinks that the best course of action is to shut down Florina from everyone's eyes, and in turn she supposedly has a plan of her own to collect other Jumi's cores. For what reason, we will learn when we get to the top of the city. Yeah, pretty much. Chaos Emeralds and shit. Another knight, Black Pearl, is against Alexandra's plan. She thinks Florina's vision is actually more accurate. But Alexandra prevents and interferes with them by blindsiding her, and essentially stabbing. This in turn results into Black Pearl splitting her personality into two beings, Black Pearl and Pearl, just Pearl on her own. Elazul, a knight who essentially had just lost a guardian, so he's, haunted by essentially PTSD, finds Pearls unconscious in the desert and takes his opportunity as a chance to redeem himself or something. Thus, the two becomes the beginning of their pilgrimage. Then they meet my character, and we know the rest of the story. The Jumi, Sandra travels around the world, sometimes disguised as Alex, in order to find other Jumi's core, stealing them and essentially killing them. The Inspector Boyd, despite this, he thinks she's just a simple thief and wants to capture her for closure on himself. And in all of this, Elazul and Pearl just find a place to live until some memories of Black Pearl, and we know essentially the rest. More Jumis dies, and until the truth is revealed, and we decide to settle this once and for all with Alexandra. So,
There's something inside.
yeah, it's a jewel beast boss fight. Essentially, it's gonna be like this for all the floors. So, the first time I got here in my run, remember, I didn't know anything about it.
Was this like the
I had
first
a-
story you ever
Here we
did?
go.
No, it was, I think, my second run. I knew about something about the Jumi story, but not about its ending and its final part. I knew something about the story, but when it got around to this, I was not conflicted, but I was thinking a lot of things like.
Perplexed.
Not necessarily, because I remember, Pedro, I had more tolerance towards some of the weird
No.
bullshit that this game pulls off.
When I say perplexed, I mean confused.
No, I was thinking in a sense, well, this is another story that doesn't have a clear morality. Yes, the Jumi are technically a dying race and everything, but we don't know exactly. We know they were a healing race and everything, but we don't know how much, quote-unquote, kind they were to other races. So we don't know exactly if we're doing the right thing, reviving them or not. We know though that Alexandra apparently, supposedly, it's not completely evil and everything, but then I enter this dungeon and see where the Jumi used to live. Essentially, we accompanied with this music and everything. Keep in mind, at this point in time, much like again my second run was a complete one, I was pretty much enchanted by how the game decided to handle this thing. Again, this is one of the reasons why I think out of the three, this is to me is clearly the best of the three major story arc. Sure, it's not as great and maybe compelling as another traditional RPG main story, because this is just a story arc of a bigger project that had a lot of rushed stuff.
I definitely see where you're coming from. For me, this is definitely the best story. I think the only issue is I'm confused because I feel like we could have maybe used just a bit more story elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be quite honest.
Honestly, the game should have been practically all about
Yeah.
this.
That's what I was about to say. It's
I agree.
this is definitely the most complex of the storylines, especially with how complicated things do get here and there. I honestly feel like this should have been the main storyline, and then the other two storylines should have been, they should have been, cut down to being, more like glorified side quests.
Post-game stuff, for example.
Heck. You know what? Honestly, the fairy arc would have been better if it was shorter and, it was a side quest. It still would have had the problems and the characters would have been iffy here and there, but at the very least, it wouldn't have been to a point where we're expected to care as much about it as a side quest. In fact, if anything, it being shorter would kind of give a sense of, self-awareness, the fact that, we know this is kind of BS, but...
Oh, hold on, there you go. So essentially, some of these dialogues are flashback of what happens, and it shows, for example, one of Esmeralda's sister, Diana and Rubens on how they handled the situation in the Jumi city. But don't worry about them. It's not too much important stuff. It just shows how we were. But let me just say this in the meantime because let me continue.
Hey.
Also, for context, this particular track, City of Bejeweled Destruction, I think it's called. It has, as I mentioned, it's extremely popular. Even if you don't know about the game, you probably heard it somewhere. And it was utilized as DLC for Fiat Treatment, Final Fantasy Curtain Call, and it's practically almost always a guarantee whenever they do one of those orchestral concert for Yoko Shimomura stuff. This is one of the things that constantly keeps popping up among Kingdom Hearts. I know it's
ladies and gentlemen, introducing the concerts of Kingdom Hearts and some other songs here and there.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is synthesized piano and some other minor instrument that Shimomura loves to use. So it's pretty much, again, it's these games that defined her.
Come on, Square, give us Kingdom Hearts 3.
How about this instead?
It's gonna get delayed.
Anyway,
an aquamarine.
2.8.
Oh, great. Hey, Shuri, we got an aquamarine.
To conclude my thoughts briefly, again, when it came to this, after all that the game has done, after all that the story has been, I'm normally not a person who cares about the whole quote-unquote immersion of the character. Like, I don't really care about the stuff, oh, you just need to create a character that's like you. If a character like Gordon Freeman doesn't talk, it's because it's immersive for the player. I usually don't buy that shit. I prefer to have a character which is its own identity, its own personality and stuff.
Why would I want to be myself in a video game?
Because Shiri, despite everything, it's still you.
It's the most expensive form of OCX character, don't you know?
True, true. I can see what the appeal of that may be, but the point is,
I get the appeal, but it's like I don't want to be myself in a video game.
Despite how the game kind of poorly, makes your character tangled into this whole mess. Remember, your character is not a Jew, so it kind of feels out of place. Just him helping is because of his goodwill. But this was one of the games where I actually felt that I was the character, in a sense that I wanted to see the truth before the end with these people and what happened to them. Again,
you
it's
mean this
mostly
game as a whole, or just with this storyline?
No, just for this. Like I mentioned already, I really didn't like the fairy story arc, and I thought the dragon story arc was just okay. Sure.
Oh yeah.
But this was the thing that ultimately sold me to the game itself. Like I know that it's still, unfinished, and
no. I definitely see where you're coming from on this one.
Well, and you also know me from our commentary of Garden Awards. Sometimes presentation alone can just suck me into something. I know it's cheap, and I should have more standards than that. But
honestly,
for a case like this, I'm willing to give a pass.
Honestly, Teo, I can understand why you would get sucked in by the visuals of how something looks. Like, heck, I actually really love Book of Life. And while the story is definitely serviceable, I mean, the story's not the best yet. The visuals of Book of Life are just so dang good, and you can tell they put a lot of work into it. I mean, okay, to be fair, it does help that it has a story that works, and the characters are likable too, which this game kind of lacks on. But it's, I don't want to... well, yeah, it kind of is style over substance, but in a good way, in that, it's not intentionally style over substance.
Okay. Anyway, might as well use this bit also for you guys as well. For starting with you, Pedro, because I get that this seems to be an occasion where you discover that a product that you remember the product better than it actually was.
Yeah. When I first played this game, it was mostly out of curiosity because I love Secret of Mana, so I figured, why not try this one as well. And back when I first played it, it was like, it's fine. Like the gameplay is really good. The story, I didn't particularly mind it too much, but I didn't particularly care for it that much either. It was just kind of okay. and then I just kind of moved on and never really touched it ever again. And
You never looked
not
back.
just not because I didn't want to, but because it just never came. The chance never actually came. I never really like. I just moved on. I played more games, and I just kind of moved on. I never got around to replaying this. It never made that much of an impression on me. Even the gameplay, I still don't think. I mean, it's
It's
good.
very simplistic. It functions more like a beat 'em up than a proper RPG.
Yeah. But yeah, watching this again years later, the writing is quite worse than I remember. And
Would you say it's something
yeah,
bad? It was probably, bad. Well, bad and unfinished even back when, or just something that it aged badly.
I think
Still going.
no. Well,
Dweebs,
no.
Well, Dweebs, this is actually a good point to give us plenty of time to talk things out.
No,
before
no,
we
I'm
come
not
in.
I'm not on about you guys. I'm on about this part.
Well,
Yeah,
you
that's
kind
what
of
I mean,
intentionally
but-
made it like
Yeah,
that so we'd
I
have a
made
good
it
gap to talk.
multiple purposes. Otherwise, I would have just sped it up again. Come on.
Because we do have a lot to talk about, considering the big bout of info
Yeah,
we
keep
just
going,
got.
Pedro.
It's it's just that like I said, like the music is fabulous because Yoko Shimomura. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, come on.
the visuals are great. I love the art direction. I love the way everything about the visuals. I love I love the sprite work. I love
It's
the,
really
Except
vibrant.
for,
I
I'll
love it.
admit, the models can be a bit too blended and mixed to a point where, again, I
Yeah,
mistake
that's
people
that's
for
When
because-
this.
PS1 games
I just
do
think
this-
they're a bit too detailed to the point where they're a bit clustered.
Yeah, how
When
weird
PS1
is that?
games
Too
do,
much detail makes
Go ahead,
stuff
Dweebs.
mixed for me.
When PS1 games do this kind of art style, it usually turns out pretty. We've had the Mega Man games aside from the Legends games, obviously.
That's
The
because,
best
for
way
example,
to describe it is that
We've
it's
also had the Final Fantasy. We've also had like the what other ones were that did sprite-based stuff?
Let me
Well,
put a-
let me say you this. For Mega Man, it was in a case where the sprites were much more similar to the background. Here it's a case of a tradition of a Square had of making the backgrounds, especially, particularly for the PS1 era, pre-rendered, and having the sprites for the models just walk in them, creating the sort of an illusion effect, kind of like you were watching an illusion trick.
The best way to describe the art style for me is that it's pretty in detail, but not always coherent.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it clashes a bit with the sprites because they need to be detailed, but especially with the 480 resolution, it just doesn't show it proper justice.
And it doesn't help that we
Again-
seem to have different variations on different species. Like, hey, this person looks like a bunny, but is actually not. They're a dog. Oh wait, this person actually looks like a dog, but is a dog. And then we have different variations of ghost
Again,
demons and
if
cats.
anything, there are essentially a lot of elements that actually asks for this game to actually receive a remake, but not necessarily a proper full 3D remake, more like just an upscaling. Something that just shows better backgrounding, I guess, but also
updates
better
the graphics,
sprites
but sort of tools with the gameplay and
obviously also
rewrites the
tweak the
story.
plot, and also tweak the story where it needs to. Anyway, again, this dialogue essentially continues from before. Rubens essentially had his own doubts about Black Pearl.
Oh, I forgot Rubens. He died earlier.
Yeah, he's one of the first victims, but apparently he kinda had a small role in when the Jumis also were considering what to do in their own city. Remember, these three that he's talking about are Esmeralda sisters, the one that she was searching for their core.
That feeling when you realize that
Versus-
Sandra's kind of a recolor of these gals.
Yeah, that's the thing with Jova. When we'll actually see where the rest of the Jumis are, essentially there will be a lot of palette swaps. So.
Yes, of course. So, one thing that perplexes me, though... Okay, so Black Pearl made a disguise just so she could keep an eye on Sandra. Why does she need to be disguised? Why doesn't she just tell all the other Jumi about it so that they'll be on to Alexandrite?
That's the thing, that was the original intention, but she didn't count it also on the memory loss. And when she started getting memory, Alexandra was already
Oh,
striking.
no. I get that.
killing
What I'm
people
asking is,
left
like,
and right.
why did she even need to bother with the disguise at all? I mean, Sandra pretty much left her for dead, just teleport
She-
off.
She wanted to make sure that Sandra didn't track her again, because if she discovered that she was alive.
A lot of good that did. But, that... No,
And,
that's-
again, it was a trigger mechanism that happened were near death. Again, as I mentioned, this takes a bit of inspiration from Xenogears with the whole psychological thing and splitting personalities on a physical level between the Trinity, ID, ego, and superego.
I think the issues I have with this is that things are... Okay, they're definitely well put together, that every little detail is missing just a little bit of explanation that would help things out. Like, again, I have to ask, it goes, so, wait, are the Jumi destined to die? Why did Florina decide to do things this way? Or, hey, if Alexandra can do all this, why hasn't she done this or that? And why has she portrayed herself as a jewel thief when she could essentially just go in disguise and, not have people be onto her? It's like, does she want to be found? And then, again, I'm just really confused. Why is it that with Black Pearl she has to do things, all this weird stuff, but she never tells anyone her plan? It could really be solved a lot easier than that. And I will say
Remember,
this...
Black Pearl wasn't seen greatly by other Jumis. That's what the other dialogues were
But
for.
this also brings me to another question. What was up with Black Pearl trying to keep Pearl all to herself and then threatening to kill us if, we tried to take Pearl? Like, what was up with that? Like, how are those two split apart if they're supposed
Test
to
of
be...
might.
So she was testing
Test
us.
your might.
Test your might.
And how is it that those two are managing to split apart from each other?
This one I actually don't know. Again, trigger reaction mechanism tied about psychology. Again, the same shit happens in Xenogears and it's also unexplained there.
That's kind of an issue.
It's a problem that Square had back in the day. They wanted to use these Freudian themes, but they didn't have probably enough knowledge to go through.
And they went a little too far. Like, again, if Pearl and Black Pearl can be two different physical beings, why not have them both out there? And in fact, Pearl was created for Black Pearl. How is she even her own thing in those cases? And again, like I asked...
No, if you're asking those scenes in the tower where Black Pearl and Pearl are in the same room, it's essentially the tower showcasing your other side.
What? The tower can do that?
It was established in the dialogues.
Yeah, but but they never exactly, elaborate on that to us. It's just, I guess we're to assume the tower did all that.
No, they actually
stuff.
explained in the dialogue. You probably forgot or didn't pay attention.
Was it one of the dialogues we talked over?
Probably. Not on this part, but one of the parts when we're actually one of the quests involved with the tower.
Well, again, that is sort of an issue with RPGs like this. It's like, well, stories should definitely be able to convey their points well enough so that you can't miss them just by talking over stuff. It's just... And again, I'm not saying that this ruins it, it's just, I'm just a bit confused, especially with the idea of gray morality here, because... Okay, what? Okay, people hate Jumi, so wait, is there this prophecy that the Jumi are destined to die, or that they're destined to live again? It's confusing, okay, it's the point where, I know I'm rooting for Black Pearl, Elazul, and the hero.
Hold on, Jova, we're about to get to the final boss.
Oh, that's where probably her side of the story gets explained.
Alright, time to enter the room and see the final boss time. So basically, Pedro, Shiro, and Jova, you'll be up.
Of course.
As I enter.
Any minute now.
I was getting a bit theatrical.
Any minute now.
Yes.
Sure.
This is where Florina resides.
Yes. Someone, a sparkle will go out.
Florina.
Nothing, but Joe, but should you have, yelled that loud, Florina will go out?
So, you finally showed up.
Alex and Sandra are the same person.
Alexandra.
Dun, dun,
So,
dun.
shall we return to our true forms,
More
then?
specifically, the Knight of Alexandrite.
Oh my god, you mean Alex was a woman this whole time?
Yes, and not just that, the reason why she did all of this was because she was actually kinda in love with Florina, so she wanted to kinda protect her, but it was a very weird type of affection that she had, almost like an abusive.
Holy
Anyway,
cow, this is like Steven Universe.
this is the final boss, the freaky fish guy we saw before. Remember, it's still Pedro.
I am the Lord of Jewels.
Well, so long as you're not the Lord of Games, we are A-okay. Screw nuts and bolts.
Why do you glow from the inside? No, it can't be.
It can't.
That
be.
is correct. He has the power of a black hole. Everything he swallows fuses together.
What do you mean a black hole?
You've swallowed the
Jo-
Jumi's
Jo-
course?
Jova, wasn't something in Steven Universe kind of like that?
Yep.
Indeed.
You know, Rebecca Sugar has mentioned that
I
she liked
shall-
to play video games as of the late now, and considering what somebody on Reddit kind of put two and two together, really starting to think that she really did take a few cues from this game.
Anyway, the master has swallowed enough cores, but it takes 1,000 in total.
So,
So,
Jova,
Right,
what?
So the
999.
999th core
guess
is.
what? The person Elazul. So basically, the person you do not, the Jumi you do not bring here, gets killed in the meantime.
Oh, dang, Lapis.
So,
Do not
Jova,
be
what you're
saddened.
saying...
For
Sorry.
all the Jumi shall become one.
A lot of good that running away from the diamonds did, eh, Shiroi? Anyway, you were saying?
So what you're saying is all the crystal gems are mono OCs.
Really?
Sure,
Well,
why not?
exactly, it's not fun.
Steven Universe is an AU based
Anyway,
on this
time
game.
to fight because this boss has actually two phases. For now, it's the Lord of the Jewel 9,999, which in turn is actually a very challenging boss fight. It's not as much as Irwin was, but he still put up a good fight. Why? Because of the special attacks. He spams them constantly, meaning that he has those invisibility frames where you cannot do anything to it. So it takes basically some minor skills, but also thanks to the power of Lady Blackpearl, you get your limit break kind of meter constantly up to date, so you can basically spam on your own your special attacks. So again, you're kind of balanced for this fight, but it's still one of the more challenging in the entire game, even on the normal one. Also, you can see also in the background Florina, which is, I guess, louder. Oh shit! And also, yes, it inflicts the confusion debuff, which again, it reverts my control, which is always nice. Anyway, there you go.
It's one heck of a cluster, but it's gotta die.
Yes. There we go. However, it's because Sandra kinda has a last resort trick.
I only need a little more strength.
Greedy. Master, take my core. Wait, what?
So basically, sadly we cannot actually fight Sandra on her own, but she gets sacrificed so that the Lord Jewel can reach
Alex.
1,000 cores.
In exchange, Master, please win. And shed tears for Florina. So, which was the real personality? Like, was it Alex or Sandra?
Alexandra. Sandra.
So they're literally...
Not that it matters a whole lot now.
So
Alex
there's-
was a facade. Hold on, I need to talk about this, Jova. Alright, time for the final boss, and we get awesome music, awesome background, awesome boss fight design, because you will see is a fucking space whale.
Holy
with
cow.
a face on it. Yes, Kingdom Hearts, by the way.
Yeah.
And let's see. Let's see how this mighty boss goes down.
Wait,
You can
what?
stagger into that.
Slice, slice,
Poke,
stab,
poke,
stab,
poke,
stab, stab.
Wait,
Seriously.
so
Fuck. Look
this
at
thing
this.
is kind of pathetic.
wait, hold on! I gave up my core for this? I want a refund!
Yes, now get exploded, biatch.
At least my explosion will be beautiful!
Remember me as an awesome Jumi destroyer or some shit. Alright, now with the feeling we're about to get also the ending of a Jumi. Remember, it's all automated, so someone someone fixes, substitutes Shiri's role.
I'll handle it.
Go ahead,
Jumi
Jova.
are destined to die out.
But you know,
How can
guys,
that be?
these things makes me sad.
Stop it, Tio! You'll turn to stone if you shed tears for Jumi!
But since it was prophesized, this revives the entire race.
Except for, wait, where's Sandra?
Alexandra.
Wow.
No, Alexandra doesn't get revived.
Ain't that quite a Viat? I mean, yeah, well, what do you know? When you're kind of delusioned to think you're doing the right thing, you don't get a pat on the back.
Revived.
Pearl!
And even
We
Elazul,
all did it together.
So there you
Elazul!
go, it's an off-screen.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All we have to do is cry our eyes out, and the tears will magically
Actually, that's
cure.
what's gonna happen. Kind of like in the Pokemon
Everyone,
movie.
could you all give me a little life, please?
You're going to give Teo a teardrop crystal?
Also, I gotta love how Darkstar Rabbit is just staring at all this happening around it. It probably doesn't even know what's going on.
Everyone, bind your souls. Let's make another teardrop crystal.
We need to
But,
believe
But
in
will
us.
it be enough?
Will they succeed? Buy the DLC for $9.99. Oh, no way. Not this.
That's probably what EA would do.
Or even Square Enix in some occasions. At least
Final
for...
Fantasy 13-2's true ending.
Seriously. But there you go. This thing is being so shitty, the main condition is so shitty that a storm is coming to my place. And we cut back to Bud and Lisa. Right, for this one. I don't honestly remember if this cutscene also happens. Well, if there is a variation in case you don't accept them as your apprentices, but I don't know. In case you want to leave your Lisa and Jove's Bud.
They say that when a Jumi cries,
Sorry,
the
again,
sky
it's
cries with
automated.
them like that.
I wonder if the Pearl Girl is crying.
No.
Or maybe it's the Lapis Lazuli guy.
Or maybe it's the Blue Diamond guy.
Hmm.
Or maybe it's Pink Diamond.
Somebody's blue.
Blue Diamond.
Feels late.
Yeah.
And after all the effort I have also to cure poor Bud from his illness.
Dang, like,
Well,
I mean...
sorry guys, game's
Well,
over.
that's the thing, Godwibs. Much like in all of occasions, after even the mightiest of storm, eventually the weather needs to calm down. Eventually.
Well, sorry guys, Tio is dead.
There you
Final thoughts?
And
Oh,
good
no,
lord, what
yes.
is happening in there?
Yes, we're gonna pull a No Country for Old Men. We're going to continue the story even though the protagonist is dead.
Holy
Aurora
Stokes!
At this
Aurora
point of the
Borealis!
At this part of the story, at this point of the game, in this part of the map, localized entirely on top of my house.
Yes!
May I see it?
You're dead, so
Yes.
no.
Oh. Anyway, let's see if
Hey,
the
look!
miracle actually happened.
The miracle never happened?
Not for this one, Joe.
Whoa!
At least, well, I don't even remember if there were particular typos in these translations.
Well, there's Lapis and there's Pearl, but... Oh no, Pearl looks sad.
Pearl's
actually-
always sad.
Oh. Hold on, wait for it. Any minute now.
It's a
There you
game
go.
frozen.
Wait, what?
I'm back!
You
There
were
go.
waiting off screen just to say that.
The ultimate reward. Your character, basically your silent protagonist talking while Aurora Borealis in the background. And on top of that, the final closing is with me.
Okay,
Your
this
character
feels
is,
like this was meant
thi-
to be
this
the
should've
story of the game.
Yeah, this should have been the story, the end, the proper ending. Of
Like,
the story.
holy cow, okay, this story did have its issues along the road, but this did feel like a genuinely good story. Which
Yeah.
kind of makes it a shame. Like, honestly, when I get down to it, the other two storylines feel like glorified side quests, whereas this feels like the story that we came
Alright.
for.
Only one thing left to do. You know what it means, just reporting to that darn cactus.
Okay, Cactus Kid, we nearly died. People died. Alexandra's dead. The Lord of Jewels was a pushover. Please respect
Alright,
this
we-
narrative.
I'm kinda gonna cry.
Okay, good. Maybe he'll write something respectful this time. If not, he's grounded. More than any plant
Forever.
is.
Let's see.
Alright, dweebs, and there you go.
As soon as you get it up.
I guess there's a place called the Bejeweled City in this world, but that name sounds fakey. I
What?
think my master is making up this story.
What? Okay, that's it. I am taking off my belt. Get here, you are getting a spanking.
Honestly, he needs one.
And I'm going to draw you up to the point where you will be begging
turn-
for
I turned
water.
stone for your sins.
So you
That's
will
your
don't
sit
like
down
that.
and think about what you just said. You get out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jova
We'll
commits.
see in the
Joe-
next part.
Discipline,
By that time,
Basically,
discipline.
Jova's committed.
it will learn his lesson.
Sorry,
See ya.
guys, but Jova's committed expensive spanking over a video game. So,
Alright,
what do
see
we do
ya.
now?
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.